have a pitch deck for your startup? Probably yes. But if you are seeking your first venture capital investments, and if you are an early seed, or even Series A startup, be sure that 99% chance of a probability that your pitch deck sucks.
Every active investor receives hundreds of startup applications and reviews hundreds of startup pitch decks per month. Some of them, among top-tier VC firms, have even thousands of them. And unfortunately, 9 out of 10 pitch decks end up going into trash. It's frustrating for me to see startup founders spending so many hours of your time working on a pitch deck that probably rarely someone will read till the end. And even more frustrating to understand that despite limitless knowledge base on the internet describing how to make a good pitch deck, sharing advice and recommendations and rules to keep in mind, so many tech entrepreneurs continue repeating the same mistakes again and again, ignoring advice, articles, posts, etc. on how to make a good investment pitch deck. That is why on InMind we collected the most critical mistakes that we see too often in startup pitch decks, and we combine them into a set of harmful advice for startup founders on how to make the worst pitch deck. I sincerely hope that this video with the particular examples will finally help you to understand better what mistakes you should avoid and what exactly drives investors nuts and makes them say no when they first time read a startup pitch deck.
Being short means being weak. Try to include as much information as possible and as many slides as possible straight from the beginning in your pitch deck. That will help investor to understand all the potential that you have as a future unicorn of a startup. As for the recommendation, try to include at least 25 or maybe even preferably up to 40 slides per your pitch deck.
It's wrong. In reality, that can be even considered rude from your side, a sign that you simply don't respect investors' time. The shortest, the better. The golden rule for the startup pitch deck is up to 10 slides.
Ignore templates and standards. Be creative. Don't include in your pitch deck such boring things that are typical and known to everyone, like traction, team, business model, go-to-market strategy, market problem, etc. Try to be super creative and surprise your investor with something really unique and different, unlike anything that they have seen before. Make sure that they will be able to remember your project even after weeks of reading your pitch deck.
It's wrong. Don't waste your time and energy on being creative. It can do more harm than good for you. Professional investors think in standard terms. Imagine that they have a kind of library of startups in their heads, structured according to stage, sector, technology, business model. And when reading your deck or listening to your presentation, they should be able to immediately identify what shell in that library is your startup from. If it suits their priority focus and mandate or not. If you are too creative, it would be harder for an investor to make a stop-go decision fast. And you know what? Instead of spending extra time on just understanding your startup pitch deck and idea that you wanted to put there, majority of them will just skip it and switch to another one. That is why you need a standard structure of your presentation or investment pitch deck.
Storytelling is the king of the show. Everybody loves storytelling. Try to include about 2 or 3 slides before you even move to the main topic of your pitch about how you actually approached the idea of creating your startup. Why did you decide to do that? Everybody loves to hear about that, starting from marketing department and hanging up with any other regular person on the street. So don't be shy, include as many information as possible just to make an impression that you are the only one in this world.
And again, wrong. Storytelling is good for marketing or personal conversations when there is enough time and interest from the audience to understand your inner motivation and background and story. In a pitch deck, your main goal is to trigger investors' attention in a short period of time and make them get interested and want to have the next conversation with you, where you could share more details and finally tell your story. Again, be laconic and focus on presenting the business opportunity instead of telling your story, and leave the story part about your mission and inner motivation for the next deeper talks with investor.
Tell us more about your product and its features. Don't be shy, you have created an amazing product or you're about to. Include all the possible features that will tell why is it that you are better and the best on the market in comparison to all the other competitors. Why will the customers love exactly your product? Include absolutely everything in detail because we need to make sure that we know all about it from the beginning and straight to the point.
Wrong. Product is important. No one argues. But that's not the features that make it great startup. It's all about execution and traction. Remember it. That is why in the pitch deck, it's way more important to demonstrate what do you know about your business and how do you plan to make it successful, instead of focusing on the number of features that you plan to develop the next years.
Fake it till you make it. A very famous and publicly known phrase that is used worldwide by absolutely any individual. So why not then use it to our advantage when talking about the pitch deck, right? Well, let's say that you want to include good numbers in your pitch deck and you really want to demonstrate the traction, but you ain't got one. So what shall we do? Easy. Just try to manipulate the numbers and make up some good, numbers out of it. Because there's a high probability that the investor will not actually ask anything in detail about it, and you will leave a good impression that you made a really strong impact in your traction.
Wrong. It can be a crucial mistake. Fatal mistake that can not just put you into the rejected list, but also can ruin your reputation. Remember, when you talk to business partners and investor is potentially one of them for long term, trust is everything. And if you ruin it declaring false numbers and fake traction, then no one will ever want to make business with you.
Numbers are for nerds. Try to be as simple as possible. Nobody wants to dig into those numbers in your company. Financial data, business model, traction, that is boring. Try to be as simple as possible, and most importantly, do not show any of your financial figures to anyone unless the NDA is signed or you have a written commitment on the table. Don't even think about sharing any of your financial data with anyone who is not related to the investor's point of view or even to the business world.
Wrong. Traction is an important factor in the investment decision making and an important part of your pitch deck. So the financials just have to be there. If you are a pre-revenue startup that does not make any sales yet, you can always put your estimated forecasted figures from the business plan to the pitch deck. And if you are a startup that already generates some sales, then it's amazing. Put your revenues and numbers and growth rate on the pitch deck. This is not a confidential information, by the way, so you will look paranoical if you require signing NDA with an investor before sharing this basic data necessary for investors to assess your startup potential. So don't ask for an NDA.
90% design and only 10% of the content. Look, everyone is so boring nowadays. Everybody's trying to use some important numbers, stats, data, graphs, and all of that boring stuff. Nobody is going to read it, or at least the normal people. Well, how about then we try to be creative? Try to use as many colors as possible. Try to have a different approach, unlike anyone else on the market when looking at your web. Maybe GIFs, some animations, that will do. Try to show the world that you are a creative founder, unlike anyone else on this planet.
Wrong. Like in a case with an employee with many diplomas. It does not prove that this is a smart and talented person. It just proves that he is capable to study a lot and get many diplomas. Same with your startup pitch deck design. It will only show to investors that you can invest a lot of time, energy, and maybe even money to make a great, creative, fancy design, which is really not what VC investors are looking for. Remember, a simple but clear pitch deck with relevant information about your traction, business model, and financials will look a way more convincing for investors than a fancy pitch deck with super creative design but lacking data.
Do not share any of your contact info on any slides possible. Let's keep the things confidential here. You don't want to share your personal information with anyone that you don't even know. Besides, if you really impress the investors, they will be able to find your company and your contacts themselves. Maybe LinkedIn, maybe just Google search, whatever. But one thing's for sure, presentation is not the place where you are able to share your personal data or information.
And again, wrong. Put your contact in your pitch deck. Forgetting about that, it's the typical mistake so many startup founders are doing that we're getting tired of repeating it. Again, put your contact in the pitch deck, either on the first slide with the title or in the last one where you say, "Thank you for your attention, here are my contact details." The good practice is to have at least your name, title, and email address so that investors don't need to waste extra time for internet surfing. Remember, it's in your interest to shorten the distance between you and potential investors. Agree? Therefore, don't make it complicated.
If you follow these 8 simple steps, you will have a 100% guarantee that you will completely mess up all your fundraising conversations. Well, if you don't want to be in that awkward situation, simply go and register on inmind.com and download a pitch deck template suggestions that we have created for you specifically to avoid this type of situations. See you later.
I hope this video was useful for you. And in the description to this video, you will find some really useful links to the templates of the pitch decks and other documents that you will need while preparing for fundraising. So go to the description, check the links, and get what you need there to get better prepared for your fundraising with venture capital investors. Thank you for your attention and see you on InMind.